Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Behind the Screen. We have been off for a week, so we're kind of ease back into it today. I am JM, a GM who is also a game designer. I love sitting back and chatting about game design, genre design, looking at games, doing game reviews from a kind of a designer's perspective. And I got back this week from Gen Con, so we're gonna do a little bit of a Gen Con down or retrospective, talk about some things that happened. Bob, it's good to see you in chat, and same with John Doom. I look forward, Bob. I'll give you a call after this. Got a lot to chat about. But Gen Con was amazing. If you stopped by the booth, thank you so much. I got to hang out with both Bens from Torg, Sister May, JD from Deadlands, and Brian, who plays Alistair, was there as well. Got to hang out with him. It was a lot of fun. Kowalski, Ben's character now has a full costume, including gun arm, thanks to the remarkable cosplay efforts of other Ben, also known as Restar. It was a lot of fun, got to see a lot of people, got to see a lot of new games, picked up a lot of things that I'll probably end up doing reviews on later. Tried Hackmaster for the first time, Bob, and I gotta tell you, I actually really enjoyed it to the point that I picked up two of the books, and they are from Waukegan. So got to support hometown advantage. Stopped by the Zweihander booth, was able to pick up some new products there. I can't wait to do a review on the Eternal Night of Lockwood. Got to look at Blackbirds in person. Actually sold Ben Feehan on picking up a copy of Blackbirds. Bob, I have a quick start overview of Blackbirds that I'm sending you out. And in fact, I have another package to send out to Bob because Pelgrane Press had Drakkenhall in print, The City of Monsters, the book that I did the development on, that Ben Feehan contributed to, that Bob did art for. It is a wonderful book if you are wanting to explore the City of Monsters. It's a mosaic. It's not a mosaic book. We're really leaning into your Drakkenhall will vary, your Dragon Empire will vary. So every chapter is sort of ignorant of the other chapters, and it's a number of different authors' takes on a city run by monsters. Ben Feehan did a remarkable chapter on the Rubble Hoods, the little neighborhoods that have grown up in Drakkenhall. Liz did a wonderful chapter, as did Anne Marie. Anne Marie's chapter was on the Smash Society, a gentle beings, archaeological, roguish society. So it was a lot of fun to be part of that. Gar was there, got to hang out with Rob. Rob announced the new edition of 13th Age. 13th Age Escalated Edition will be coming out. Now, the thing is, while there will be some changes to the core classes, none of the core math, as I understand it, is changing. So it's all going to be reverse compatible. The only thing that's going to be changing math-wise is how you build encounters to make them a little tougher. But the monster math is staying, as I understand it, pretty well within the original bounds. We're going to have Rob on this month for the Iconic Podcast. If you tune in on the third Sunday of the month, Rob will be live with us talking about the new escalated edition of 13th Age. So I think that's really, I have this one right here, so I might as well show it off. I got Swords of the Serpentine in, and this is a beautiful book. It is the latest Gumshoe book out from Pelgrane. It is Sword and Sorcery Gumshoe, which I felt was appropriate to show off because we're going to be talking about Sword and Sorcery on Thursday. I just posted the exemplars list in the Discord channel. So if you're a member of the Iconic Patronage, please feel free to swing over there and let's start talking Sword and Sorcery. I think the remaining genres we have to cover before we jump into science fiction will be Sword and Sorcery, low fantasy, grimdark fantasy, and then cross-genre or cross-world fantasy. So yeah, it was great. Strange Owl had a great booth. We were able to sell a ton of Torg. If you came by, pick that up. Awesome. We had iconic stickers. We had a bunch of people sign up for the Space 1889 playtest, as well as the website. If you're interested at all in Space 1889, shameless plug. Space 1889 is the original steampunk role-playing game and helped define the aesthetic and the genre. And we're doing the new edition of it. If you go to strangeowlgames.com, you can join the mailing list to find out more about it. And if you want to support us, there is a Patreon, Strange Owl Games Patreon. And hey, Druid Philosophy, always good to see you, Jenny. Rook, thank you again for your generosity. It has been too long since we've chatted. So the Patreon is there to be part of the open playtest. So if you want to see Space 1889, if you join the Patreon for Strange Owl Games, at the end of the month we will be sending out the first playtest packet so that you guys can run through an intro adventure, have some archetype characters, and see how the game works. So yeah, Gen Con was a lot of fun. Also, again, got to hang out with my two favorite Bens, which was wonderful. And I will post a link in the show notes. Let me answer Bob's question with a not question. Patreon.com. Here we go, Bob. In the chat is the link to the Patreon. So yeah, Bob's going to be doing some art for us. Simi of Doom is going to be doing some art for us. Rich Longmore is doing some art for us. We've got a ton of other art. The book is basically done. I want to do a play test just to see how... There's a couple of spots that I want more feedback on, if that makes sense. So, last but not least, the big exciting news for me at Gen Con this year was, as many of you know, if you've known me any length of time, I'm a big fan of Greg Stafford. Greg Stafford created Glorantha, he created Hero Quest, he was instrumental in Rune Quest, but he, in his own words, his sort of magnum opus was the Pendragon role-playing game. Pendragon is the game of playing Arthurian knights, starting with Uther, and then playing through the Rise of Arthur, the Rise of Camelot, the Grail Quest, and then the eventual decline and fall of the Arthurian Age. And it's been in 5 editions, and then it kind of gets a little like 5.1, 5.2. But they announced at Gen Con, and they had the quick start for the new version of Pendragon, Pendragon 6, which Stafford was working on before he passed. As I understand it, he left 6 or 8 2-inch binders full of notes for this new edition of Pendragon. So if you're at all interested, this will be available on the Chaosium website. We'll post a link in the show notes. It gives you everything you need to try out the new system. Now, from somebody who loves Pendragon, the system doesn't seem to have changed that much, at least in the quick start rules. You're going to see everything that you love. D20 die resolution, the way combat works, the fact that you have traits and passions that you can lean into or can control you and give you bonuses to skill rolls as you engage with them. And then the adventure, the sword tournament is wonderful. You are in Londinium as a knight when a young man finds out that the knight that he aspired to has forgotten his sword and finds a sword in a churchyard stuck in a stone. It is amazing. And yes, John, the art is great. We will be doing some art show off for Space 1889. There are some amazing pieces, and there are even more amazing pieces coming. Oh, thank you. John, it is a wonderful story. If you have not seen it, there's a little webcomic. If I can find it, I will post it online. You reach out to push the orc off the ledge. Instead, you lightly caress his back. He is uncomfortable. It's just the story of the natural one and how that sort of blossoms out from there. So it's good to be back. I realize that it has been a week off. It was a busy week for us. It's good to be back, good to be engaging with you guys again. Tonight we're going back to Torg. We're going to be in Tharcold, introducing a new character and seeing what happens. Can the Fet 5 actually recover and free the Storm Knight who's scheduled to be executed, or will they too die in despair in Tharcold? Yes, John, that is amazing. What is it? Glorantha, the Orc Lord, who you keep trying to... Oh man, we've got to post that webcomic. That is just... The dice... So something we love saying at the Iconic Production channel is the dice tell a story, right? That, and again, I'm paraphrasing, stealing this from another wiser GM. If you get to the end of the campaign and you got everything you wanted exactly the way you wanted it, then really your choices and the die rolls did not matter. And I love the fact that dice tell a story. Sometimes they tell the story of how heroically awesome we are. Sometimes they tell the story of how even in our failures, something new and unexpected blossoms. It's sort of the eucatastrophe of gaming is the dice, or the oracular nature of the dice that tell a story that we are not fully in control of, even as we sit at the table. I will have a book coming out here, or I will have a paper coming out in a book talking about myth and RPG and liturgy and how that all sort of ties together. And that's so this idea of the oracular or grace of the dice is very much keen in my head at this point. So yeah, and we'll be back on Monday with more Deadlands. I'm really looking forward to getting back to our Deadlands game. Even 1 week off has felt haven't gamed for a week. I was at Gen Con and didn't do any actual gaming. I did, though, get to hang out with JD, who is one of my favorite people in the world. And so being able to hang out with her and John and the professor was a ton of fun. Just a ton of great fun. Hopefully we'll have more news on more Savage Worlds material. I got to hang out with a couple of Savage fans while I was out there, which was awesome. Daryl was at our booth, Daryl Hayhurst. It was great to chat with him, talk about Space 1889 as well as Savage Worlds and what's coming down the pipe. So yeah, Gen Con was a great success, at least from the hangout play experience sort of vibe. It was a little strange. This year felt slightly less personal than other years. In other years, you had more people manning their own booths and were able to trade and engage with them, and in a lot of ways it was a very much more of a corporate experience. But that was just in the dealer hall. The dealer hall was still just amazing and a sight to behold. My son spent all 4 days just wandering the dealer hall and coming back with things that he wanted to buy. Yes, Rook, I can only imagine you're going through withdrawal, having not gotten to play Wickers for a week. That mea culpa, my friend. Had to drive home last night. Didn't get in until after the stream would have ended. So yeah, we'll be back on Thursday. I realize this is a short kind of recap of where we're at, but we're going to get back to our Sword and Sorcery, our look at fantasy on Thursday. We're going to be talking about Sword and Sorcery, Conan, Elric, Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser, a little bit of Locke Lamora, a little bit of The Witcher. We're going to kind of decide what that genre is, and we're going to talk about the exemplars in the field. Again, kind of follow the same pattern because it seems to be working out. So, until next time, until tonight, when we're back with the Fet 5, we will be plotting more games. I'm looking forward to getting back into Tharcold, having people here at the table rolling dice to entertain both ourselves and everyone in the chat. Hopefully we'll have some new people. We sold a lot of Torg and sold a lot of people on Torg and Iconic while we were at the booth. So, until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay gaming. I am JM. We will be back on Thursday with more Behind the Screen, and we will be talking, as I said, about Sword and Sorcery, looking at that genre, seeing what we need in order to bring back that experience, that gameplay, what games do it well. So we're going to start that on Thursday. We will see you all then. Till next time, have a good one, everyone.